Hello everybody, I have a little bit of a different video for you today. One thing I get asked a lot is, what is an estate sale? People aren't too sure about what they are, how to find them, if it's just a garage sale. So I've been going to them regularly, every week for about a year now. And basically what it is it's a sale of typically involves the whole house. You walk through the entire house, garage and everything, and almost everything in the house is for sale. Typically, it's the family of someone who's passed on is putting on the sale. They could be maybe going into long-term care and raising funds to help them with that, or it could just be a family downsizing. Maybe they're moving out of state and they left a lot of stuff in the house and just decided to try to sell it all. Typically the family will contact an estate sale company that specializes in it, and they will have people who will stage the items on tables, price them, appraise them, run the whole thing, take the money up, and they will typically get a percentage. I don't know the exact percentage, but every company is a little bit different how they operate, and how the sale goes down. Each company may operate a little bit differently depending on what the needs of the customer trying to do the sale is. So in some of the estate sale companies, you can kind of tell some of them are just trying to get as much money as they can. Some of their focus will be trying to just get the house empty. So sometimes there's one company around here that I like that on the last half of the last day, they'll do a 3-4 day sale. And on the last day, they'll just do a $10, fill up a bag. So they have a bunch of grocery bags there, like paper bags, and you fill up the whole thing for $10. And you just want to get it all out the house. Some will do, it's not too common where I live, but they will do an online auction of everything that's left. They'll pile it into boxes, and you'll do a near blind bid, sort of, on the box of items. I don't know if you've ever seen the show. What is that show? Where the Storage Wars, where you only get a few minutes to look at they open the door and you only get to look at what's in there from the front, and then you make your bid. It's kind of the same thing with the estate sale bid. You see a box, and you kind of guess what the contents might be. You place your bid, and then you go pick it up at the allotted time. But I've never done that. And it's not too common around here, but I know some areas that's pretty big. And so where do you go to find these sales? The place I like the best is estatesales.net. They have an app on the phone. I'll be showing you that later. Estatesales.org is not bad. Typically, people will list on both. And some will also list in the local newspapers. Around where I live, it's typically Thursday through Saturday or Sunday are the big days. So if you go the first day, the first hour, it's super busy, but you have the most selection. But also, you're less likely to get good deals at the same time because they don't really want to haggle on the first hour or the first day. Why would they try to sell you 100? Why would you have 100 item that's $100 and you're telling them you'll give them 50 for it? They'll go, I've got 4 whole days left. I'll just keep it, and try to get my $100 for it. Now, if you want to get a good deal, really the number one thing to do is to be friendly. Don't just from the start, not just when you bring an item up to the table, you decide to start being friendly. Also, bundling items up really helps. So if you have a whole stack of items, you can generally, depending on how busy they are, they may not want to look through every single little thing. Don't try to hide stuff and cheat people. That's not what I'm saying, but they'll look through it and they'll go, oh yeah, sure, and they'll just price it all as a big bundle, and you'll get it a lot cheaper than individually priced items. And also a good tip is, it doesn't work as well at estate sales as garage sales or flea markets, but hold the cash in your hand. Say, hey, yeah, that maybe they said They looked at the whole table of items that you put up there, and they said, "Oh yeah, $50." They go, "Oh well, I was thinking 30," and you actually have the cash in hand. They'll go, "Yeah. That sounds good." And yeah, so that definitely works better at flea markets and garage sales, but sometimes it works at estate sales. Now, don't expect to get the greatest deal, like I said, on the first day. And I know some people can be nervous about haggling, but you can just ask. They know what they're doing. They've dealt with all types of customers before. And another good tip is to dress respectably. Don't smell bad, and respect the house as well. If you just go through jumbling stuff and tossing it around, and I've seen closets full of clothes just get yanked down off the hangers, and it drives the estate sale people crazy. Or compliment their work, because these people, they've probably spent 2 weeks, maybe a month of pulling stuff out of boxes, throwing away garbage, doing their research and setting it all up and getting everything ready, and dealing with some nasty people too. So, I've complimented their work. I've said, "Oh wow, this must have taken you a long time. This stuff looks really good." And just be genuine about it. If it doesn't look good, don't say it. But I've actually gotten told before, "Hey, oh wow, you're a real gentleman. What can we do for you?" I'm like, "Oh well," you might get a good little deal. So definitely don't. If you want to get a good deal on any of their items, don't denigrate the items to get a lower price. "Oh, that old dusty thing, that doesn't fly." Definitely point out flaws. If you got a piece of glass and it's chipped, a piece of art glass or a vase or something, if it's chipped, the value of it is almost 10% of its real value, unchipped value. So say, "Hey, I don't know if you're aware, but this is actually chipped. What's the price for a chipped item?" And they go, "Oh, well, I didn't realize it," because they don't have time to check every single item. And they're generally, I've never had anyone get upset about that. It's some people I know have a hard time of haggling. Probably my best advice is to say, if you're that kind of person, is to say, "Oh well, that's not an unreasonable price." Just say it's not an unreasonable price, and it's probably worth that to somebody. But I was looking to pay, maybe they said it's $40. Like, "Oh well, yeah, that's reasonable, and it's probably worth it to someone. Someone may buy it for that, but I was actually thinking 20." And a lot of times they'll take it if you're nice about it, and depending on the estate sale, what their goals are. Definitely do not check prices on your phone in the house. That drives them crazy. It drives everyone else around crazy. I'll show you how to do that on your phone in a little bit here. But if you're just going through the house with your phone, taking pictures, looking stuff up on eBay, blocking up the line, the people running the estate sale know that you're just there trying to make a buck off of them. Now, they all know that probably 80% of the people in the house at a estate sale are resellers trying to find something cheap and resell online. They're not dumb. They know most people are doing that. But if you make it blatant, you're not going to get a good deal. They're going to be very frustrated with you, and they're going to hope you leave, honestly, because you're wasting people's time. So there's a way to do it. You can take a picture and then go outside back to your car, and then maybe look up a price if you want to do it that way. But don't make it blatant that you're just trying to take advantage of maybe their lack of knowledge on the price of an item. It's just not cool. And typically don't try to haggle on the first hour, the first day when a estate sale opens, because it's maybe you get an item that's for $10, right? Well, these houses can be filled with 50 people or more at a time, and everyone's asking for prices, and everything's crazy, and they're not going to haggle. or want to haggle over a $10 item, especially when they may be only making $3. The person may be only pocketing 30% of that $10. So to them, it's a $3 item, and they're not going to play that. And they never ask for your opinion either. They will say, "Oh, this is too expensive." You know, I say that a lot about it, but I don't ever tell them that. They know what their prices are. They know if they're charging eBay prices, which frustrates me because I can just sit at home and pay eBay prices and get it delivered to my door. So yeah, I know a lot of people, when they think estate sales, they think maybe something like lifestyles of the rich and famous, right? A huge estate. But no, it's most of the places are just average homes. You do have your homes that are high-end antiques, ancient Asian artifacts. I have seen them. And I've also seen real junky places. Sometimes you might be digging through a dusty old barn with a bunch of car parts everywhere. And that's just another form of the estate sale. So, with all that, let's take a look at maybe I can make show you a streamlined way to approach estate sales. So here we have the estatesales.net app on my phone. And I've picked a spot that I don't live here, but this is just for example here. So I see each of the little sales here marked on the map. So you can click on it, and it'll bring up a list of pictures. So let's see, 28 pictures at this sale. You can scroll through. I don't see much here that I want, so I'll go to my next one. You can see with the red ones, they're active that day. Or that I have this one set to tomorrow, so I'm looking at all the sales for tomorrow. And this one looks kind of neat. I see some video game stuff, but when it's set out on a table like that so perfectly, there's probably high prices because they're individually pricing items. I'd prefer to see it just in a corner in a box somewhere because I can get it cheaper. But you never know. There might be good prices. You can scroll through each one. So see if there's anything that you like. And if you see anything that you like, you can take a screenshot. So let's just do an example here. That little dog down there. I'll take a screen grab here. And then I'll use the app Google Lens. So here's Google Lens opened up, and I'll choose that picture that I just took. And it'll scan it, and it picked up the Barbies, but I can move the little selection here to that little doggy. And there we go. It's pulled it up, and I can see someone on Etsy charging $16 for it. Some things like it. And you can do a little more research. There's one on eBay. You can click on it and go to it and see what someone's charging on eBay. Now, just because you probably hear this all the time, just because what someone's asking for it, obviously it hasn't sold yet. Like, someone's asking $45 for that top one, yeah, sure, right? But you can click on it, or you can search that name. Now that we know the name of it, we can do a search and then sort by sold. So now you'll see that the prices have turned green. Those are actual sales. I can see there that one sold for $225 at auction with $11 shipping. So yeah, that's not worth a lot. Now the auction isn't the best gauge, but you might get $5 for it or $10 for it if you leave it up for buy it now instead of doing an auction. In my experience, when I run an auction, I get less money nowadays. It used to be the opposite on eBay. You used to get more when you do an auction, but it's not that way anymore. Not in my experience. And now I'm choosing 7-day time frame. Now, the little gray dots on the map, that's ones that people haven't released the address yet. They give you a rough area. They don't want someone breaking in and stealing, if they're not going to be open for a week. They've already staged all these items. They're all ripe for the picking for someone to come rob the place, so they don't give the address yet. But you can still look through the items. So here, let's see this lamp. I think recognize that. I think that's a Fenton hobnail pattern. So I can look it up and go, oh, I think I recognize what that is. Let's see what it might be selling for. So, does a search. It finds that doll right off the bat. That's pretty cool. Pretty amazing how this Google Lens works. It really is phenomenal. And let's take a look at this lamp. Looks like a hurricane lamp. And it's getting kind of close. You scroll around a bit, and there's one right there. And yeah, it's a Fenton Cranberry Opalescent Hobnail. So, cranberry being the color, hobnail being those little bumps on it, and Fenton being the maker. And here's one here that's missing the globe, or whatever you call the lampshade at the top. And they're asking 40 plus 57 shipping. It's probably not worth that, especially without the top. Now, some of those gas lamps, they'll have them converted to electricity. It doesn't hurt the price at all. So, let's check another one here. And here's one of the ones like I was talking about earlier. It's more like a barn or a barn sale, a garage sale. Just tons of items, old cars, parts, and everything. Just neat, but I'm going to check somewhere else. Now, let's see. This is a few days away. Scroll around. So let's just take another thing for example here. Try to find something. Let's choose this picture of a bird. Let's see what this is. So we'll go to take a snapshot of the screenshot. We'll open Google Lens. And hey, look, it looks like I picked it up immediately. So I'm just curious. I expand it to include the whole frame, and it cannot identify it any longer with the frame. Not accurately. So I'll shrink the little field back down just to look at the actual picture itself. And there we go. It's right back to giving me the match. It gives me the name of the artist. I can see what other people are asking for it. There's one for $129 on eBay. Now, clearly it hasn't sold for $129 yet, so it's probably worth a good bit less than that. Yeah, you can click on it and see, there's someone asking for it. And now this is how not only you can get a kind of an idea of what other people are asking for, but what it actually is, the artist and everything. It's really amazing. So this is what I'll use. Maybe, before I go to bed at night, I'll get on my phone and I'll look at all the places that are having a estate sale around me, and I'll look up and I'll take screenshots and I'll see if anything has a good price. Now, a lot of times, the people running the estate sale have done the exact same thing. They know the price, and then you just decide if it's worth it to you or not. Whatever they have it priced at. You never know if these estate sales are going to be really expensive or really cheap. But sometimes you get just a ridiculous deal. I've spent 25 cents on an item that I sold for $50. You just never know. But that's how I go about it. I go to estatesales.net. I'll look at the sales around me, when they're going to happen, and the time. I'll look through the items, and if there's anything interesting, I'll take a screenshot. I'll pull up Google Lens to identify them mostly, and then also maybe get a rough idea where the price should be if at full retail. Of course, I want to spend a quarter or a tenth of what full retail is if you're going to be reselling. If you're a collector, then you may not mind paying close to full price for a particular item that you're really hard to find. But for the most part, so why would I go spend $129 for that picture of a bird when I can get one online for that? So hopefully it'll be, a quarter of that price. But that's what estate sales are. That's an easy way to approach going to them. So yeah, if you have any other advice or have any other questions, feel free to ask. I check my comments every day or two, and I'll respond to you. So good luck out there. If you find anything good, please let me know. All right. Have a good one.